Hello everyone. It's very strange to be standing here in an empty hall with none of you here giving a worship assembly to you via this camera. But during the lockdown and the times we're going through with COVID-19, this is how we're going to do it. But it's really nice to be talking to you, even though I can't hear back from you. And I hope perhaps you'll get in touch in other ways instead. So we're going to do our worship assembly. As you'll see, the candle's already lit. So I say to you all, Jesus is the light of the world, shine on us today. I'm going to talk today about VE Day, which stands for Victory in Europe Day. Just over 80 years ago, the Second World War began. It was a huge war that involved most nations across the world. And on the 8th of May 1945, at 3 p.m, Winston Churchill, who was our UK Prime Minister at the time, announced to the nation the war in Europe was over. That meant an end to nearly 6 years of war that cost the lives of millions of people and destroyed families, homes and cities. Millions of people celebrated the news the war was over in Europe, relieved that the intense strain of war was finally over. In towns and cities across the world, people marked with victory with street parties and parades, dancing and singing, and a sense of optimism. Queen Elizabeth helped during the war when she was a young princess. She was a mechanic and she drove lorries getting supplies to the right places. She did so without people knowing who she was. She just wanted to help. She wanted to be the same as everyone else and to do her bit. Someone else who's recently really done an incredible job of doing their bit is Captain Tom Moore. Now, Captain Tom is now 100 years old, but he was 19 years old when he joined the army. Yesterday we celebrated him reaching his century, as well as raising over £30 million for the NHS. Regardless of his age, he wanted to make a difference, and so he set himself the challenge of walking 100 laps of his garden. During every walk, he wore his 3 medals that he'd earned during the war. When he was asked why he wore those medals, he said, "It's important. It shows I was part of a very important and super army at the time. We're battling for our country, which we're all so proud of." After celebrations of VE Day had died down, it took time to rebuild the country. Shortages continued for several years. Clothes were rationed until 1949, and food was rationed until 1954. Even today, for some people, their memories of Victory in Europe Day and the years just afterwards are tinged with sadness. My own dad talks to me sometimes, because he was born right at the start of that war, about the things he missed out on when he was a very young boy. Next week there's a bank holiday to celebrate VE Day. But we're in lockdown, and so we'll be unable to celebrate together. Let us think of everyone who not only fought in the war, but went through the hardships of war, at home as well as on the battlefields and in the seas. Let us reflect on what people gave up and lost, as well as the time it took to rebuild after the war. People did so with patience and understanding, thankful for the end of the war, which was seen as a victory. Let us think, especially in these such difficult times, about what we can do to bring peace to those around us in our homes, in our friendships, and more broadly across the world. I'm going to read a prayer now, and if you'd like to share the thoughts of this prayer, then say Amen at the end, please. Dear God, thank you for all those who fought to bring peace during the Second World War. Thank you that peace eventually came. Please be with all those who are living in areas of the world that are affected by wars today. Please help us to do our bit in creating peace wherever we are. Amen. Thank you for listening, Round. I'm really hopeful that I'll get to see all of you very soon. Perhaps just after the half term, we can think about reopening the school. We're all waiting patiently but really eagerly for news from the Prime Minister about when we can do that. But in the meantime, look after yourselves, look after your families, stay safe, stay healthy. I can't wait to see you all soon.